I believe we're live. Hopefully we are. Hopefully we are live. Please let me know, as always. Can you hear me? Can you see me? And also, last time, no one notified me until like the very end that I had the mock draft Monday like outline, I guess, the like template I use in OBS. And I was in the bottom right covering the team. You guys gotta let me know. If my face is covering the team, tell me that my face is covering the team. And let me know what like setup you guys want. So I'll try and do better this time at like, there's a draft board. Obviously, it's more difficult for me drafting if I'm just watching the draft board and I have no idea who's being drafted, but I'll try and keep the draft board up more so you guys can see how things are going, and then we'll obviously have to switch back and just look at like the people that are available for us when it is our time to go. So I'll post a link. Let's do same thing. 12 team, $3, create one. We're gonna try and do 2 of them in this one. So we'll try and do this one quickly. But it seemed like last time we had plenty of time, and I'll go into Twitter and I'll post the link as well. It seemed like last time we had plenty of time to do 2 of them. The goal is usually an hour and a half, but so we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, join in. We'll get this one rolling. Ask any questions you guys want, and someone confirm, is this a good spot for me, upper right? I feel like that's got to be the best spot. I mean, what are you guys looking up there? I mean, do we really care what's in this corner over here? Not really. We'll see the team. We'll see everything. And again, when the draft board comes up, I will try my best to like keep that. For those of you who are going to join this, I have updated the rankings today. I lost my train of thought there. I updated the rankings today. I made sure the Underdog was updated as well. So there's a video right on the site. I think you can see the video for free, to be honest. Not that you would care if you didn't have access to the rankings. There's a video on the site. Takes you like 4 seconds. Download the rankings, go to Underdog, upload them. So if you want to use these rankings, I do have the rankings loaded in. These are Underdog specific rankings. So if you're sitting here like, oh, I'm just going to copy these down, and use this for my 12 team half PPR league, they're different for Underdog. And also you're not going to see because people are going to draft over here. But anyways, so I will do what I said. We will pull up this. Again, let me know if... No, it's glitchy for me right now. I don't say something more about that, Jace. Yeah, let me know if this is a setup you guys prefer, and then I'll switch. Basically, I'll have to minimize and then go into the pick when it's my turn. I don't know. If you guys prefer that, we'll do it. Questions. This is the best time to ask questions because I don't have anything to do right now. We're waiting. We got 8 seconds left before the draft starts. Fire anything away. Chase or Justin Jefferson? I did a video on that like a week ago. The answer was Chase for that one, for me. But it was basically just like, if you're in the early first round, just be ecstatic that you get to have one of them on your team. I mean, busy right now. I'll join the next one if you're doing. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't remember when we usually do these, like when they finish, how long they take. I feel like it's like around an hour to do them. So maybe we'll go over an hour and a half, but we'll try. Can we do a standard 12-team draft one day? Yeah. I don't do many standards for the mock draft Monday just because it's standard, right? I don't think you should be playing in standard scoring leagues, so I don't want to encourage it, right? But yeah, I'll do one. I just definitely, I'm not going to do a standard draft in August. I'm probably not going to do a standard draft in July. So maybe sometime in June, I'll do one. It's just that, it's just not best. It's not best to use standard scoring. Maybe I'll talk about that in a second. But first up, Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp is the same start that you always see. Flipping Kupp and McCaffrey. Then we see Eckler, so I'm going to get one of Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. It's pretty standard start. You don't usually see any crazy starts on Underdog. Chase goes, so I will take Jefferson. Easy. All right. See if anything else weird happens. Because I took Jefferson, obviously it's Underdog, so we don't need a billion running backs. But I prefer builds where if I went wide receiver early, I prefer just getting a few running backs in this range. There's still plenty of running backs I really like in this range of the draft, but I definitely don't want to go too heavy. But hey, you know what? Maybe we try one out. I don't think I've done an underdog draft yet that I just went like RB0. Maybe we can test it, but I'm hoping that one of the elite running backs is here at this next pick. If not, hey, maybe we can go like a Jefferson, Kelsey, or Andrews, something like that. Maybe a double wide receiver if there's a good value, but we will see how it goes. Finally won my league last year. If you're finding your channel, can't wait for the new season. Awesome. Love to hear that. Pittman or Waddle? Oh, that's a difficult one. I should bring up my scoring format for that one's going to be kind of important. I have to think. You'd imagine that Waddle's going to, gain more of an edge in PPR scoring. I'll see what I have in half PPR and kind of go from there. Waddle is ahead of Pittman even in half PPR. So my guess is no matter what scoring format, unless you're in a standard scoring format, my guess is that you're probably going with Waddle. I'm interested to see that, though. I want to see reports from Miami. Like, I think they're going to be good. And I think the vast majority of the volume is flowing through Tyreek Hill. It's flowing through Jalen Waddle. Like a lot. Like, these guys are going to have really high target shares. Maybe like the highest. If you're like comparing just two players in each team, maybe the highest. But it's just tough to know that for sure. Like, that's what I think's going to happen. But like, what if they spread it around a lot more than I think? So I think we'll see reports come out of camp, July, early August, kind of confirm that or go away from that. But as of right now, I'm kind of assuming that's going to be the case. And so I would go with him over Pittman. I like them both as talents for sure, but that's kind of the way I would lean. Redraft PPR. Okay, it kind of expands on that one. Redraft PPR, Waddle, Pittman, or Deontay. I actually have, I don't think it's Waddle. Who is it? It's Deontay, Pittman, and someone else you guys requested for one of the Thursday breakdowns. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow is going to be the quarterback video, quarterback draft strategy. This Thursday is going to be Mike Evans versus Keenan Allen. Then I want to do a running back one. Then the next week is going to be Pittman versus Deontay versus someone. I just can't remember who it is. So it's funny you guys are asking more about those players. I can pull up those rankings again, but again, Waddle over Pittman. I feel like I'm not drafting Deontay as much this year just because of the offense. I just don't trust their quarterback play. I don't know if they're going to spread the ball around more now that they have even more weapons. Drafting a rookie wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now. George Pickens. So I don't. It like my lean is, I think what the rankings will say is Waddle, Pittman, and then Deontay. So you guys have seen who's going off the board. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm one pick away. Okay, I'm on the clock. We already have, as you can see, Justin Jefferson. We have, where is the clock? 21. Oh my God, it's going to go here. All right, so we're basically doing Chubb or Mike Evans. I was curious. I was kind of thinking about it a second ago. I almost want to go RB0 just to like see what happens. So I feel like I'm going to do it. If my computer doesn't lag enough, I'll do it. Hopefully we can queue him up just in case he doesn't get taken. There we go. All right. I hate how it doesn't follow the scroll here. I kind of want to just do it. If the value is there, obviously there's a chance that as we go through this draft, like there's just no value at the wide receiver pick. But I kind of want to just see how the team will work out if I take like a bunch of wide receivers. My guess is, though, that at this next pick, I have like 1 billion running backs ranked to go next. So I would assume the top player ranked is a wide receiver. But maybe we just go away from the rankings and we just see what happens at our next pick. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 picks between us and the next one. Okay. And if we're looking at wide receivers, we'll get a good one. I don't know if I'd want to, though. I mean, if like A.J. Brown fell to us, maybe. If Mike Williams was there, maybe. I feel like those are the only two that I would like test this out with. If that doesn't happen, I mean, we'll just go with like Fournette, Saquon. Running back doesn't have very much value, though, either. That's not that fantastic. Hopefully we end up getting... I feel like we'll have a chance here. Unless both of these guys take Brown and Mike Williams, I think we test it out. I'm pretty sure it's not optimal going RB0. All right, we're gonna get one of them on Underdog. But here's a little take on optimal and Underdog. You're gonna see a billion articles and videos about what's optimal and Underdog, but like we have what? I was kind of hoping AJ Brown was there. I'm by the way, I'm taking Mike Williams, even though I know someone's gonna snipe Amari Cooper. Or should I just take him? I'm basically saying I know someone's going to take Amari Cooper for my next pick because, you guys like to do that. We'll do. But if this was a league that I was doing, I didn't know the people, I would take Mike Williams for the ADP, hope that Amari Cooper's there. But anyways, you guys are going to see a billion articles and videos come out about optimal strategy. Just understand that there's like 1 year of really good data and then a second year of like okay data from Underdog. And that's it. So we know what's optimal last year. But that doesn't mean that's going to be the same thing that's optimal moving forward. You probably need you probably need like 5 years worth of data to like fully unpack what optimal strategies are, because like it's so heavily weighted towards, a few weeks of the season, just a few like monster performances from some players, and all of a sudden draft strategy changes. Like you need more years of data. And so when everyone's, doing the research, and Underdog made it so easy to get this data, when everyone does this research on like 1 or 2 years of data and they all come away with the same optimal, what does everyone do? That. And if everyone has the same draft strategy, or everyone knows what the best draft strategy is, then it becomes optimal to do other things, right? Maybe not optimal when you're doing it at the moment, but if you look back, in 5 years at this season, things that we're talking about right now as being optimal might not be in the future, just because everyone thinks there's like this way to win. But again, it's based off of a very limited sample, a lot of teams, but very limited like games in the sample. And so just be careful. Don't ever box yourself in and be like, well, I can't do this because this, research article said that I can't draft RB0 or I can't draft like this. Yes, you can. If the value is there, you can absolutely do it. If anything, the Underdog is very clear that value is king. And so even if you had no draft strategy at all, if you're just taking dudes like behind their ADP, you're performing better on average. Completely throw everything else out. You know nothing about these players. You know nothing about strategy. Get guys at ADP and you'll perform better on average. That is true for Underdog. That is true for redraft as well. Okay. I didn't do it. I'm so sorry, guys. There it is. There's the team. Anyone else doing what we're doing? No one else has started off with 3 wide receivers. No one else is dumb enough. But also, hey, I got 3 wide receivers that have weekly ceilings, right? Mike Williams could go off for 115 scores. Mike Evans, 115 scores. Jefferson, he could break receiving records this year. So we're going for ceiling. I know that running back is going to be abysmal very soon, but it is what it is. We're testing things out here. Where should Debo go? I'm assuming you mean drafts and not if I am Debo Samuel, where would I play? Because the answer to that is probably San Francisco. Where did he go here? That's my first question. Second round, he went at 205. See where I have him in half PPR. I have Debo Samuel at 302. I don't actually necessarily think I moved him down today. I just moved CeeDee Lamb up, and I think like the result of that was moving Debo kind of down. I think the appropriate range for him is just after these elite guys. You've got Kupp, Chase, Jefferson, tier of their own. Diggs, Lamb, Adams, Tyreek Hill. Debo is kind of just like at the end of that tier. So basically whenever these guys kind of run out, that's where Debo should go. And yeah, I feel like it's roughly mid to late second round. That's where he should be going on average. If he actually fell, I feel like 302 is kind of tough. Maybe I need to make it a little better than that. But I have him as the 9th best receiver. He's 7th on ADP. I mean, that's not like a crazy difference, right? I mean, if I move Debo Samuel up 5 fantasy points, he jumps up to the 210. Like, it's like very minor differences. So I think he should be going roughly where he's going. I don't think he's a great value, though. I don't think I've really like taken him yet. All right, let's minimize this so we can try and get to our pick. We have 3 wide receivers. Top wide receivers on the board, if we want to test out RB0, is a big value on DJ Moore. That's interesting if it falls to us. We have the option to go with Moore here. Let's pull up everyone. Our top running back is Zeke. I want to just do it, guys. We're just going for it. We'll evaluate the team later. I want to go full-blown RB0. We got our first really good value, getting DJ Moore at 43 with an ADP of 36. I actually moved DJ Moore up just a tiny amount. I tried to get Christian McCaffrey. I'll pull this up again. I apologize. I tried to get Christian McCaffrey down in the rankings, so I gave him like less carries. I kind of sectioned that off into the backups, and then I gave him a few less targets. Gave a little bit of that to DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, stuff like that. Though it was tough because they have such a bad wide receiver core that it was basically just like, all right, here you go, DJ Moore. Here's more work. But yeah, I moved him up a little bit because I think I had him a little bit too low. Also, let me know if there's a team that's gotten like an amazing start. Shout out any teams that are doing well. Fournette or Chubb? I gotta go Chubb. The only hesitation there is, does Watson get suspended for like the whole season? Because in that case, I mean, obviously you don't love their players at that point. But I think if you're assuming like on average it's like 1 to 2 month suspension. I mean, I have no idea. No one else actually knows. But if you were guessing something like that, then I still think I'd go with Chubb. I mean, they're going to lean on him when he's out, and then when he's back, I mean, they're going to be a really good offense. So I just think he's better than Fournette. Fournette obviously has the competition to deal with White. I think they're both good picks, but my lean is Nick Chubb personally. I also just think he's just a better player. We talked too much, so now we're on the clock again. We have 20 seconds to make our pick. We are going RB0. No screaming values at wide receiver. We should bring everything up so that we have an option. We should also just like get someone over there. Oh no. We don't have a stack. Oh no. Let's go. My computer's lagging. Did I get it? Oh, I got it. My computer was lagging so hard there. Actually, it's probably not the computer. It's this mouse, because I have to run a Bluetooth mouse because I don't want too many things plugged in, because I don't have any USB ports. I have the USB-C. Yeah, it lags sometimes. So we got that in. Again, maybe we stop at this point, but again, I just want to see. This is informational. We're not trying to, take down $1 million here. We're only playing 12 teams, and it's 11 other teams. It's a $3 league. But I want to see how it works out. Doing an RB0 draft. Started lineup with Jefferson, Mike Evans, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, and Allen Robinson. A lot of upside there. We basically need to, at this point, start targeting some of these running backs. But as I look at the list, I think we're going to have an option. Like, I really think that, like, one of these players, now not all of them, I might only get one of them, but I think one of these guys will be available at our next pick. Let's pull up the draft board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 or 10. I don't know. I'm probably miscounted. I think there are 9 spots left until our next one, and we just highlighted like 7 running backs. So unless these teams are taking like 3 to 4 running backs, I got to think we're doing good. Also, we have hit our record for concurrent viewers. Way to go, guys. Nice job. All right, I have been abandoning your questions. I very much apologize. Speaking of Debo, how much do you consider situations like this, Deontay Johnson and guys... What? Speaking of Debo, how much do you consider situations like his... Oh, yeah, Deontay Johnson and guys like that on Underdog drafts? Not really. Just because, like... didn't Deontay Johnson report today? And it's also, like, it's like optional at this point. Like, if someone is holding out into, like, actual camp when it's, required to attend. It's not required to attend right now. They're holding out into July, August. I'm very concerned. Like, I am extremely concerned about that because, like, they're not getting reps. They're at higher injury risk. And what if they just, like, hold out, Most of the time, the vast majority of the time, we know those big situations. We know Le'Veon Bell when, like, he's holding out for the season. Like, we know these situations. In general, they come back. I'm not concerned about Deontay Johnson. They're going to pay Deebo Samuel. They're not entering the season with Deebo Samuel just, like, holding out and, like, requesting a trade. And, like, it's just not going to happen. So there's no one right now. Obviously, like, Watson's a whole different situation. But the question was more about, like, holdouts. Right now, there's no one that I'm concerned about. Obviously, we have, like, the Kamara thing. I don't think he's cleared from, like, not getting suspended. So that has to be in the back of your mind. But for the most part, nah, I'm not really considering it that much. Oh, also, I saw someone tagged me. I'll go to this question in a second. You don't need to tag me. I'm just scrolling through the names. Like, I don't get any like notification if you tag me. You know, just answer, just ask a question. I'll try and answer it. Hearing lately that people are talking about prioritizing Derrick Henry over Jonathan Taylor. I've never heard that personally, and I would very much recommend not doing that unless you're in. I was even gonna say unless you're in a standard scoring league, still not even close. I mean, he dominates in standard. We need to do this pick though first. Okay, we're at pick what? Let's get ourselves over here. We're pick 67. Oh, we're on the clock. Okay. We'll pull everyone up, but I think we're gonna go with Miles Sanders. Unless there's something better. I don't want that. I don't want that. Wow, a lot of wide receiver options. I think we're going to go with Miles Sanders here. Yeah, why don't we do it? Because we do need to start off with running back. Yes, that was a reach by ADP, but I can personally guarantee you that someone was going to take him. Maybe I should have considered a quarterback stack. I didn't actually look at who I have, but I actually don't think we can, right? We don't have Chase. We don't have Higgins. We don't have Lamb. So we could go with Dak and like do someone later on. So I guess if he's available in the next round, we can consider it. Russell Wilson, we could consider going there and just like, again, stacking with that later on. My lean personally is that we just continue kind of going back to running back, make sure we have like okay value there. We can attack the quarterback position a little bit later in the draft. We could go after Tom Brady as well because we have the Mike Evans stack. So that wouldn't be a bad option. Kirk Cousins is an option for us later on. We're not playing around with Panthers quarterback. Stafford's an option. Okay, we still have options at quarterback. I just want to see, while I at least have it up here, because we're actually almost on the clock again. I'll pull up the draft board in the next one. I wanted to pull up tight end. Nah. We've kind of entered the gross range. We're probably just going to draft like 3 scrubs later on in the draft. But we've built up this much of a core of wide receiver to where we don't need to be worried about it. And as long as we don't get sniped here at running back, we're going to get one that we feel at least okay about. Nice. Running back is definitely going to start to fall off soon, but there's still some really good options, so I'm not overly concerned there. Definitely preferred Clyde. Kind of upset that he got taken. But we'll take Dillon. We're fine with that. We know he's not taking over. Aaron Jones, we don't care. It's A.J. Dillon. He's going to score touchdowns, have a few receptions, get some rushing yardage. He's going to be a consistent option for us, get us some points, and we are not relying on running back to win this league. We are relying on just shredding at the wide receiver position. And honestly, these are still 2 running backs I feel pretty good about. So we'll consider quarterback at our next one. I'll pull this up, answer one of your questions. But yeah, just to finish that other thought, I've never personally heard someone talk about Henry over Jonathan Taylor. I don't know why you would. I don't really know. I don't think there's really a case to be doing that. So no. We liking Saquon in the first round this year. This might be the season. No. I'm not even going to elaborate on that one. No, you're not taking him in the first round. He could provide first round value. Certainly. He's Saquon Barkley. He is an incredible freak athlete. He could have a ton of receptions. That's an offense I like this season. Many don't agree with me on that take, but it's an offense I like. Doesn't matter. You don't take him in the first round. His ADP is what, the third round? Where did he go in this one? Obviously, Underdog's a little bit different. In redraft leagues, you should shift all these running backs just a teensy bit forward. It's going to be a little bit more running back heavy earlier on. But I still expect Saquon to go in roughly like the third round. So, no, you don't take someone in the first round then. I'd say Olave. They're probably answering a question from someone else. Never played Underdog, just interested in strategy differences 3 months before the start of the season. Never played Underdog. Are you asking about, okay, I'm assuming this question means drafting this far out, do you do anything differently? Not really, no, because if you're doing something differently, it would be like trying to hit on players who are going to skyrocket ADP, and now you have a different construction from everyone else early on. But the overwhelmingly likely outcome, if you try and do that, is that you end up taking someone in what? Like that would basically mean the last pick. You're probably just going to miss. If you're really trying to draft some handcuff, like everyone's doing that, you're not going to be that different. There's no strategy differences. That would be the only possible thing, is just trying late to be like, hey, here's a handcuff. Let's say Zeke tears his ACL. Well, Tony Pollard is not going in the 8th round. I will draft someone like that. AJ Dillon, I'll draft someone like that. But what, you're going to reach around? Like, at the end of the day, value. That is the only thing, or not the only thing, but it's the most important thing on Underdog. It is very proven statistically. That is something that will carry over in future seasons. Value. You're getting value. You're doing good. Okay, so I have Knox as the top projected. Should we go with him? It's an option. I'm not going to go with Ertz. I just don't want to draft Ertz. Russell Gage, that's not bad if we want to continue RB0. It doesn't look like quarterback fell to us. Do we go with Stafford? That's not a bad pick. Because I don't want to, miss out completely. Yeah, he's got that weird thing where he's not throwing. I'm not super concerned about it. I don't think Stafford was like a fantastic. We didn't draft Chubb, right? No, we didn't draft Chubb. Kareem Hunt, James Cook. I like this kind of range. Maybe we attack another running back, but I didn't think we needed one there. And then there were no wide receivers really standing out to me. I'm cool with all these guys. I don't think we need to attack them, especially we've gone pretty heavy to start off. So it's kind of between Knox and Stafford there. But, we went with the stack. We have our stack, Stafford and Allen Robinson. It's a pretty underrated stack. Allen Robinson's probably, going to be pretty good this season. Our only other ones, we go grab Kirk Cousins late, like that. I'll try to answer one question before we get to our next pick. I haven't heard any news about Deontay Johnson holding out. As for Debo, that drama's quiet, and I'm thinking it gets resolved. Yeah, I have the same, the bigs or the big S. I can't remember. He told me last year if it's the bigs or the big S. Tell me. Am I doing it right? That's my thought exactly. I haven't heard any bad news about Deontay. It'd be weird for him to hold out, and things are going to get resolved in San Fran. I'm just not concerned about those situations. All right, you guys got your time with that. Only running backs up right now. Let's see. I don't want to go with Ertz, even though it's probably a good pick. No, I don't want to go with Ertz. I feel like Olave is actually a really good pick here. But I also like Chase Edmonds. For my team's construction, it makes sense to go with Edmonds, but I don't want to, and so I'm not going to. Even though you're going to see him in a video later this week where I praise him a lot without giving away too much. If he's there at 115, we will take him. If not, it's not the end of the world, because we had two, right? Yeah, we have Miles Sanders, we have AJ Dillon. We're going to struggle at running back. But if Miles Sanders is as good as I think he can be, maybe we can get the value with Chase Edmonds. Maybe we'll be fine. I just thought Olave was a really good pick there. And if we were kind of going with this team around the whole idea of just attacking wide receiver, trying to get a lot of them at really good values and just crushing that, Olave's a really good talent, guys. He's so good. I think he can have a really good year. Okay. I'll pull this up. He doesn't make me work for this one. All right. What side would you rather have, Najee Harris or Hall and Keenan Allen? Do you mean that's in like Dynasty? How would you already draft a redraft league and that's what you're getting? I'm going to answer it for redraft. Najee Harris or Breece Hall and Keenan Allen. So that's what, like it's like a 3rd round pick for Breece Hall, 4th round pick. And Keenan Allen's like a 3rd round pick, and it's a 1st round pick for Najee. I mean, my lean almost always is I just want the best player. So the big, like ESS, the big S, the biggest. Okay. That's not what I remember it being last time I asked, I feel like. Anyways, I generally lean towards the 1 when that's happening. So I just want to get the best player, because there's free agency, there's other trades. Like, you can kind of fill in bench. It's really hard to get really good players. And so if you could end up with a team that has Najee Harris and Austin Eckler, like, you're building something that no one else has, instead of loading up on like 3rd and 4th round options, which at the end of the year, I mean, maybe Keenan Allen has the value of like a 1st rounder, right? We didn't think that Cooper Kupp was going to be a 1st rounder this year. So things like that can happen. But in general, I want to be doing 2-for-1s for the one player because it's the one player plus whichever free agent you can get. And especially right now, there's probably a cool free agent you guys can go out and get. So I would prefer the Najee Harris side in that one. Why Miles over Dylan and Mitchell? Well, over Dylan because I guess I don't know who I'd lean on for the offense being better. Oh, God. Okay, hold on. I'll answer that question in a second. Are we on the clock? We're on the clock in like 20 seconds, maybe? Okay. We're not going to go with quarterback, I don't think. We already have one. We only need one more. I'm not going to go with a quarterback at this pick. Running back, I don't think we need to attack it. We can find something else later. There's nothing standing out to me. Wide receiver and tight end. There's literally nothing at tight end right now. So we're just going to take our top receiver. Top receiver right now is Kenny Golladay and Tyler Boyd. MVS. I would rather have Golladay. That's what I would prefer. Could have gone with Boyd there. Could have looked for a better ADP value. I don't really think that was a great ADP value. How many do we have now? Jefferson, Evans, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, Allen Robinson, Chris Olave. Wow. And Kenny Golladay. I believe that's 7. I have to go to my next name to see. We've already got 7. So we might not need any more, if I'm being completely honest. We need... What just happened there? That was weird. We're going to need 3 tight ends. How many rounds do we have left? Oh, we got plenty of rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. 3 tight ends. That leaves us 5 rounds. Probably 3 running backs. That leaves us 2 rounds, a quarterback, and then we have 1 to play around with. All right. So we could go with another wide receiver. There was a question I was answering, though. Oh, well. If I was answering your question, and then, what Miles Sanders? I just think he's a really good talent. He is the clear number 1, in my opinion, on the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be a really good offense. He's probably going to have more passing game usage than Dylan, definitely over Mitchell. They've already talked about Mitchell. Like, they don't want to use one. They basically just had to last season because Jeff Wilson was awful. Trey Sermon was awful. And so they're like, well, we have to play someone who we like trust at least a little bit. And so they went with Mitchell because he was the only guy they trusted. And that's probably why they had to use Deebo Samuel as much. Now, obviously, Deebo is going off. But, like, it's probably why they had to start doing that because they're like, we hate all these running backs. Davis Price, I mean, he's going to mix in. I'm sure that, like, they're still going to be using Deebo. So if we take, limited passing game role for Mitchell and then we trim down the rush attempts, it might not be as good. And also, we just don't know with Trey Lance right now. He might take a lot of carries away, and maybe the rushing volume isn't as high as we were thinking before. All right. Jahan Dotson is interesting, though. I moved him up in the rankings today. I'm starting to get higher on him. If we wanted to just go all out and finish wide receiver now, finish wide receiver in round 11, we could. There's no values at running backs whatsoever. I mean, Hines is our best pick here. That's not a bad pick at 11. It's actually probably a pretty sharp pick just because all we want is for our picks to like get by in this round. Like we don't need running backs to do great. We just need them to be okay. I don't like the tight end option. So it's between these two, and we don't need Dotson. Like, as much as I like him, we don't need him. I might go with Hines. Other than White. I should go with White, shouldn't I? I didn't even look a little bit lower. I think the best pick there is to go with White. Then hopefully go with Hines. We're not going to get both Hines and Dotson. I'd be very happy with either of them. We'll just throw up the other running backs on our board. Probably Madison. Yeah, Madison, Spiller, Williams, McKissick and Robinson, Pierce, Darrell. That's kind of like those are the guys that we would kind of be okay with finishing out running back. We're probably, again, going to take 2 of them because we waited so long. You could go with 4, but you probably want to go with 4 if you have like a really, really good running back. Okay. Someone said Zeke or Etienne in full PPR. I can pull that ranking up. All right, 12-team full PPR. Only have 6 spots left. I feel like this draft is flying by. You guys are doing a wonderful job. Everyone who joined this draft, we are going to probably get through a second one. Running backs. Etienne and Zeke are back-to-back. Running backs 15 and 16. I have Etienne with 15, though. It's like a tier break there. 15 more points than Zeke. I prefer Etienne over Zeke. And I preferred that kind of like in my head, just as players looking at upside, Etienne. Thoughts on Trey Lance, assuming Jimmy G is out of the picture? Really good. Assuming he's out of the picture, he is not on the roster. Yeah. He goes kind of early, though. I'll pull up where people got drafted. Did they both go? Yeah, they both went. I'll pull up where people got drafted. Sorry, I'm just thinking about what I want to do. I'm going to take a wide receiver late. We're not going to go wide receiver here. We're going to take a running back or a tight end. Wow. All the tight ends there. All right, we'll take a tight end. All right, everyone knows a Hikasiki, so no one's taking him. So he probably goes to the top of our board. Are there any ADP values? Pat at 122. That's a nice steal. Yeah, but at, late 12th round, 139. That's kind of late. Like that's still probably a pretty good pick there. So again, we still need 2 of those, 1 of these, 2 of these, and 1 of these, and then I think we have an extra one. But yeah, I think if they trade Garoppolo, the latest news was they didn't trade him because of the surgery. I think that makes sense. Like I think it's more that like teams probably didn't want him while he was getting the surgery. So it's like, oh, it's not like, oh, we didn't want to trade him. It's probably like we didn't get any good offers because he's going under surgery, which means he's not gonna. Can't he like not even play until October, November kind of time? Isn't that kind of when he can't play till? So I don't know. But assuming he's off the roster is one thing. I mean, he's going to open the season, Trey Lance. If he's on the roster, though, and Trey Lance opens up really bad and they go back to him, that kind of stinks for you guys that drafted Trey Lance. So you want him traded away optimally. But I like him. He's going to end up in that like quarterback 9 through 12 range. He's going to be like a fringe quarterback 1 because of the mobility. And it's really just going to be, do you get him at a value? I don't think I'd be reaching for him this season. I really, really like the upside, but I love the upside on like 15 quarterbacks this year. Like quarterbacks really, really deep. So just get him at a value. Speaking of quarterback, what can we do? We could pair Daniel Jones with, what's the bye week situation like? All right, now we can't pair Daniel Jones. Never mind, he got drafted. I'll just pull up quarterback. It's gross, but we'll have like an option. If I want to pair Mac Jones with, Thornton, I will later on. I don't think I'm panicking just yet. I'll panic soon. I'm not panicking just yet. I think I would prefer we go with a running back with his terrible options. We just go with another tight end. Let's go another tight end. Alberto, best value on the board. Take it. Boop. People were way too high on Alberto this offseason. There were people ranking him in like the top 5 for dynasty tight ends. Like obviously they're going to bring other people in. But like he's a body who's going to be on the field on a Russell Wilson-led offense going in the mid-13th round. That's the justification. He's athletic. He's young. He has upside. Could he be on free agency and redraft leagues in week 3? Yep. But that's why he's going in 13th round. So we got him. We got Gesicki. We'll try and get one more tight end that we think can catch, 5 touchdowns this year. Hope that all these guys score 5 touchdowns, but they come in completely separate weeks, and we're good to go at the tight end position. Recent years, last 2 years' data shows that 3 tight ends is best no matter what you did, and especially if you drafted late. So we're going to draft another one. I honestly think we just do it again in this round. I'm not going to pull up the draft board, I don't think, because we're gonna think for a second. Who would be a good option for us? I feel like that would be a good option for us, right? Because we got Stafford, so we can have a Stafford, Allen Robinson, Higbee stack, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna be good to go in week 1. I'm pretty sure that's like all but guaranteed. So we go with that. You could just go with Hunter Henry. He could catch 10 touchdowns this year. Do I think he will? No. Could he? Yeah. It also sets up a potential Mac Jones stack if he hasn't come off the board. So that's an option for us. I just think they're better options than going running back. Even though we only have 3, it's a little bit risky. But I think we'll be able to get someone late. We'll be able to get someone. Hooper's an option, though I'd wait. I wouldn't take Hooper in this pick. Fant. Yeah. Athletic tight end on a Drew Lock-led offense or Geno Smith-led offense. You got to love it, right? All right. What is your general roster construction strategy for auction leagues where you have that flexibility? Super flex, 2 quarterback, PPR, redraft. I wouldn't, there's no optimal strategy for auction leagues. I would say just kind of make sure you don't screw yourself and like you bid really high on 2 players to start off. You have like barely any money left for the rest. Do like, simulations. What I do personally, I've only been in like 3 auction leagues. I threw out like a budget basically. I was like, okay, this is how much I want to spend at running back. I think I'm good enough. I think you guys watching this, you're good enough to kind of be able to budget that and be like, okay, if I overspend here, well, here's how much I've allocated to the wide receiver position, to the running back position, and kind of go from there. So give yourself a budget, know how much you can do, but look at, where people go. There are years where quarterbacks are going for like $2 and they're like 8th round picks. And you're like, what? Like, why would you spend $20 when you can spend $2 at this quarterback who's basically just as good? So I don't know what the values are right now, but there are going to be values that you can get for like $2 or $3. Budget that into your team, see what's left after that, and see what you can spend up with. Typically, you're going to want to spend up at running back. Don't abandon the position. You can get a lot of really good values at wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. So that's my general take there. I think we're going to go with Higbee. Like I said, I think he's going to be good to go to start the season. If he's not, who really cares? I've got Alberto and Mike Gesicki to kind of start off with. If he's a little slow, that's fine. We've got our stack, Stafford with Allen Robinson and Tyler Higbee. We're good to go there. We're not going to draft a 4th tight end, so we can just get these guys off our screen. Again, we need 2 more running backs. We need a quarterback. It's a little thin. Stafford is not a good streaming quarterback. I was going to say I can pull up the streaming page. Let's see. Best quarterback pairings. Who's the best late quarterback pairings with Matthew Stafford? Let's see what that is. In general, it's kind of like your Daniel Joneses of the world pretty much every time. Okay. Where's M? Stafford. Daniel Jones, Trey Lance, Derek Carr. Doesn't look like we have an option there, unfortunately. Bye week 7. So we're good. We can take any of the options on there. My lean is your Goff, your Wentz, Winston actually, because he can go with our Olave pick. So I think that makes sense. Winston, Goff, Wentz. Mac Jones, I said, is actually also an option because we can go Thornton late. Thornton's going to not be like overly involved this season, but he is probably going to catch a few really deep balls. You have to imagine that if he catches a 60-yard touchdown, that's going to boost the week for Mac Jones. Maybe that's the week Mac Jones takes over my quarterback spot. So yeah, that's kind of the thinking there. But I think we just go with Winston. That's a really good value, ADP 155. I'm sure he'll be drafted at this pick right before us. When he does get drafted, do we go with... I could do the same thing with Goff, though, is the thing. I was just saying, do I go with the running back? Oh, he actually didn't. Wow. All right, we'll go here. The one thing with Winston, the news came out that he's like limping around a bunch. So at ADP, maybe we don't want him, but at 174 in the late 15th round, listen, he only has to be so mobile for us, right? And I don't care if he's a little slow to start the season. Matthew Stafford is probably going to outproduce him more often than not. But, if Olave happens to shred this season and maybe Michael Thomas comes back healthy and maybe Kamara doesn't get suspended, all those things, then, could be a good pick and 20 spots after ADP. You always want those values. But yeah, he's limping around, so that's not exactly ideal, but it's early. It's May 31st. Give him some time. How many do we have left? I'll pull up the draft board again for those of you who are going to yell at me. We're here. We got 3 picks left. We need 2 of those to be running back, and probably one of those to be wide receiver. We'll probably still grab a wide receiver. It's going to be like a pure like home run pick at probably all of those spots, but I'm not against taking a consistent option. If we can get a passing down specialist at running back, let's look for one. Oh, we don't need quarterback anymore. We're not doing that. I would be completely fine with either Brian Robinson or McKissick or Darrell Williams here. I don't know why they haven't changed Williams to Arizona. He's on the Cardinals now, but I'm sure they'll do that soon. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. These teams have 4 or 5 quarterbacks already. Running backs already. I don't think all these guys are coming off the board. It'd be weird if you guys are drafting like your 6th running back instead of adding to wide receiver. So yeah, I think we're going to be good to go. But if we're not good to go, Pierre Strong's an option. Donta Foreman's an option. Davis Price. Do I need to move? I need to move Foreman and Price up. If I keep saying that I think McCaffrey could have, at some points they spell him, and I think Foreman's their next best running back because I don't really believe in Chuba Hubbard, I think I need to move him up. I need to give him more carries because I keep clicking him in these underdog drafts, but he's so far down the rankings. Like I always just skip over dudes and get to Foreman. Like I'd rather draft Foreman than Pirine. I'd rather draft Foreman than Breida, than Kenyon Drake. So yeah, I'll adjust the rankings for that one. That's one that I'll have in the back of my mind. Bourne pick. That's a good pick. Wasn't the person that drafted Mac though, right? No. That would have been real good. Mac Jones and Bourne, or like a Mac Jones and Thornton and Mac Jones, honestly, and Parker. Like just they're all cheap. So while I love none of them, they fall a lot of times in drafts, and it's so cheap to draft Mac Jones, pair him with one of them, and get like a good value there. Only 2 picks before us, so we're probably gonna get one of the top 2 that we like. I haven't answered questions in a while. How come you don't want to draft Ertz? Thought you were talking him heavily a month ago and projecting him out. Yeah, I know. That's the annoying part, is that I still project him. Haskins is a good pick. I still project him really well. It's just I just don't like him. I don't know. Okay, you have those players that you watch them play and they move like 1 mile an hour, and you're just like, why did I draft this guy? But then you come back at the end of the game and they've got like 5 for 50 and a touchdown. And you're like, how? He runs 1 mile an hour. That's what Zach Ertz is. So like he's just so unbelievably unathletic at this point. I don't understand how he could possibly get open, but he does, or at least he gets open enough to get a target. So maybe I'm being too harsh on him. I tanked him in the rankings. Like I tried to get as much target share away from him as I could, but yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh on him. I would draft him where I have him ranked, but you watch him play and it's like he's not a guy that you want on your fantasy team. He's so slow. Dobbins, CEH, or Akers. I have PPR up, so that's the answer you're getting. Dobbins, CEH, or Akers. Well, CEH is way behind that grouping. I like CEH, but by ADP, it's not even close. Off the top of my head, and then I want to check rankings. Top of my head, my guess is that Dobbins and Akers are very close. CEH is behind it. My guess is that I have Dobbins first, but it's got to be close. Akers, then Dobbins by 1.9 points. So whichever one you want. There's no lean. When someone's projected 1.9 points different, you take the one that you feel better about. If your take is that Akers towards Achilles, he comes back too early last season, they still somehow went with him even though he was clearly still injured and not 100% because they hate all their other running backs and they're going to feature him this season, all right, go with him. If your take is that Dobbins is a really good talent, that he got an unfortunate injury last year, but it was so early that he's got plenty of time to recover, go with him. If I'm in a high stakes league, with I don't play in, but if I'm in, I should think about this pick, but whatever. If I'm in a high stakes league and I really need to, all right, 3 seconds, let me focus. We'll draft wide receiver. The next one we'll go with our favorite running back. I think it would be sharp to actually go with Bryce at that pick. My reasoning for that, one, again, ADP value. You're not smarter than ADP. Like, let's just be honest, we're not smarter than ADP. If someone's a huge value, just take it. Your team will do better. But also, I just kind of wanted to go with, number one, rookie upside. We still don't know the ceiling of some of these players. They can be really good. But number two, pass catching, going to have a role. They don't need to be the number one to perform well for my specific team. I drafted wide receiver very heavily. I should be putting up a lot of points at wide receiver. I should be winning at that spot. I just want to contest. I just want to be fine at running back. And if I have two that I like, but all these guys are just going to get some work, it's pretty likely that every week, one of them scores. One of them has a few receptions. One of them gets a little bit more work than usual, and they can just kind of trade off in that aspect. So that's the thinking there. Could go strong, but he's more of a wild card, and I don't think this team needs a wild card right now. Could have gone with Foreman, but again, you're not sharper than the entire industry. If there's a 30.2 ADP, 0.3 ADP difference, maybe go with that player. Make sure. Okay. Where are we at? This is the last pick, right? I'm taking our favorite wide receiver. Who's our favorite wide receiver? Curtis. Someone tell me if it's Velus or Velus and actually know the answer. I asked this in a video and I got 4 different answers. Romeo. Shakir. Don't love anything else. Laviska gets traded away. You can go with Odell as like a last pick. That's not a bad pick. Like Odell or your Julios of the world. I'm assuming that Fuller's gone. I'm the local like Will Fuller guy apparently because I keep talking him up in like every single video. How would I order these guys? Honestly, upside of Shakir is probably not there this season. Julio or Odell? I'll just say this. Odell was way better than I thought he'd be last season. He clearly still has it in him. Problem is, it's 9 months at least. So he does that in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. You're getting him back at like Thanksgiving. You might only have him for a few games. You don't know what team he's on. That's tough. It's tough for me to swallow the Odell pick. But I get it as like the very last pick in your draft. It's like, who cares? Probably not using any of these guys. What is the latest news on Julio? Is he going somewhere? Oh, there goes Curtis. I wanted him. Is he going somewhere? I feel that's a tough one. I don't know. Wait, what? Oh yeah, I clicked a different team. I was gonna say. Let's just go with Odell. Whatever. I don't think there's a correct pick there. You could have gone with Shakir. You could have gone with Julio. I don't think it really matters too much. We'll wait for this to finish. We'll pull up the draft afterwards. I'll try and figure out how to do that. I always seem to forget. Or we can just do it here. Let me know which team you guys like. I'll put it at the top. Take a look. We'll do it very briefly on this, and then we'll hop into the next one because that took how long? 54 minutes? Yeah, we got a motor. We got a motor in this next one as well. Answer any questions. Or actually, you guys can see the final picks here. Shakir got taken. Julio got taken right after me. Mariota on the clock right now. All right. Tell me who you think who did the best. Team 11 is bad. All right, let's look. Got Adams, Waddle, and Judy. Wide receiver core, Adams, Waddle, Judy. Mooney, Burks, Osborne. Way too early for Osborne, I feel like. Bryan Edwards, Laviska. Yeah, I'm not in love with that. Running backs, Mixon, Gibson, Pollard. Yeah, I don't love that. Ertz and Taysom Hill, that's it at tight end. Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't love that team either. And then, like if you took Watson, you got to assume that he's playing the full year. And if he's playing the full year, all of his players are value. So you should take like a DPJ late. You should take David Bell. Like you should take those guys because you're assuming Watson's going to play. And if Watson plays, those guys are a little bit undervalued. Team 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Well, this is your team, clearly. The name, BRND. Brandon. Nice try. Team 4. A regular to our drafts. Fakey. Eckler, Saquon, Zeke. Abandons running back, goes with Herbert. All right. I sign off on that. Mark Andrews. And then just goes with Hunter Henry and Uzoma. Nice. I like that. Wide receiver, Sutton, Elijah Moore, Wilson, Tony, Tim Patrick. Okay, obviously thinner, but it makes sense because you went with 3 running backs. You've got that tight end in there. Wilson. All right, you took 3 quarterbacks. You probably don't need to do 3 quarterbacks. I would say make one of these quarterbacks another wide receiver because you're somewhat thin at the position, right? Like your first one is Sutton. So you have Sutton, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson. Like I like the stack of Zach Wilson. End it there. You got your Wilson. You've got your Moore, Wilson stack. And then you've got your Wilson, Sutton stack. A lot of Wilsons there. There's no need to grab Daniel Jones here. Just grab, grab Jalen Tolbert, grab Alex Pierce, grab Will Fuller. There's no reason to go there. I like the Hamler pick, though. I like the stacks a lot. I would just say the Daniel Jones pick. You just didn't need to do it. Team 2. Team 1 is the worst. All right, we're going to look at Team 1. We're going to make fun of it, and then we have to do our next draft. We need to focus here. Jonathan Taylor. Javonte Williams. Dobbins. That's a good running back core. Spiller. No, that's fine. Marlon Mack. T. Higgins. Gabriel Davis. Drake London. Claypool. Boy, that's not bad. Burrow and Matt Ryan. This is not a bad team. I don't think Team 1's that bad. I have to go back to the lobby. All right. 12 person. Create it. Share this draft. Copy it. Exit. Paste. There you go. Do you have a favorite spot to draft from this year? I'm really liking 2 because I honestly don't care if I get Taylor or McCaffrey. So many as well have an earlier pick in the next round. I was going to post it on Twitter, but I think you guys already got them all in there. Well, I think you guys already filled it, but whatever. We tried. We tried our absolute hardest. Okay, that's good. I was talking about something. Oh, favorite pick. Oh, we got 7. Oh, we'll see how our drafts are different. Ooh, what we should do is I should go running back heavy in this one. And maybe not today, maybe in like a future one, because I guarantee I won't be able to talk at the end of this draft. We should analyze like the difference, right? Because I just drafted from 6. I went wide receiver in the first billion picks. That'd be interesting if we can look at that. I don't think I have like a lean yet. I don't think we've done enough drafts. I don't think ADPs have stabilized yet. In general, if you don't care about 1 or 2, yeah. If you think McCaffrey and Taylor are just like the clear top 2, yeah, take 2, obviously. You're still going to get a good one. I feel like there's actually typically a drop-off in that like mid-second round, at least this season. I feel like in previous years, it's kind of extended, and the first picks have gotten a really big edge because you're kind of getting the tail end of really good players. I feel like the elite picks do kind of stop in the mid-second round, and sometimes you can get stuck in the early pick with 2 players that are still really good, but not quite as good. But no, I genuinely, not yet. I don't have a lean yet. Oh no, though. You guys are going all the running backs. I was going to say we should start off with wide receiver, but you guys are with running back. You guys are taking them all. Maybe we'll just do it anyways. We'll say screw value and we'll just take Derrick Henry unless he gets taken. Okay. The pick here is Jamar Chase. It's the pick, I think. But I'm going to go with Derrick Henry because I want us to test out how this will be different at the exact same spot if we lean running back early? And will our wide receiver core still be really solid? I would like to get another running back at the next pick. I don't want to hold myself to absolutely doing that, but I would like to do it. Oh, I haven't done. I'm gonna do that for now until someone tells me they don't like it. If you really want me to like pull the whole thing up, I will. But maybe I just do this because it's easier for me. But if you guys hate it, please let me know. But yeah, there's no spot yet. I think all the spots are kind of actually pretty even this year for now. Like at the end here, you're getting potentially two really good, really good players. Like the duos you can get here for like two running backs, grabbing one of the tight ends with an elite wide receiver, like really good duos there. Again, I think the drop off is in this range. Who is there? Let's just talk about it. Swift, Lamb, Hill, Chubb, Evans, Andrews. And for me, maybe a little bit of drop off. That's kind of what I see happening. So when you're in that like the beginning of the first round, you don't get these guys. They just don't come to you. Don't take Chubb. I want to start off with running backs. Although it's not a value at all. Who is technically the best value? Mark Andrews? Oh, interesting. I haven't tested that yet out either. It's going to be one of those two. Let's see what happens with this. Let's see what happens taking Mark Andrews. I don't think I've done that on stream yet. So now that we did that, we have the option to only draft 2 tight ends. It is technically still a little bit better to draft 3 total. But I think long term, so last year it was, I think long term, if you took a second round pick at tight end, you're doing that not only because they're going to create an edge for you in the weekly matchup, but because you can use that one extra spot. And let me tell you, in Underdog, that one extra spot does mean a lot. It really does. Getting that one extra wide receiver or that one extra running back will save you sometimes. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have the King. We're going to have Mark Andrews. We're going to take one other tight end. Let's do this draft. I know I said we're going to test some things out, but let's try this. Let's only take like 4 running backs here. 4 running backs, 2 tight ends, maybe only 2 quarterbacks, and we just deck out our wide receivers. So we're not going to take wide receiver for a bit. We're not going to focus on wide receiver. We're going to be okay if wide receivers get taken and we miss out on them. We're going to attack them late. Okay, that's what the plan is for right now. Questions? Keep firing away. I feel like I'm getting drafting in front of you. All right, well, be kind. You're going to hear who I want. Give them to me. Let's see. Thoughts on James Conner this year, especially given the Williams signing? Well, we knew that they were going to sign someone. So I have the same thought that we had before. They weren't going this season with Eno Benjamin as their top guy. We knew they were going to sign someone. Realistically, they could have signed someone a lot better. I think he's still good, and it is a problem for James Conner because he's good on the ground, in pass protection, and in the receiving game. Not saying he's like elite, I'm not saying he's an elite running back or anything that's going to take over, but he's good in different areas, and so he can take over 2-minute drill. He can stay on the field if they're in the red zone. He can stay on the field on third downs. He could take over an entire drive if he wanted to. So, I don't know. It hurts him. It obviously hurts James Conner. He's not someone I was drafting before. Unless the ADP falls, I'm probably not going to draft him still. All right, we're at 31. The problem with our plan right now is that no running backs are a value. None. No values there. Technically, if one of these becomes a value, it'd be very interesting for us to test out. Oh my God, there's no values anywhere. Okay. Let's do it. Now, maybe it's better to wait for Lamar, but I can draft Shakir late. I can draft Knox as my second tight end. I have options here with this stack, and I didn't see anything else. Like, I want to go with running backs, but this range on Underdog is just so bad. I'll do this. Sorry. It's so bad for running back. It just becomes like a wasteland. Yeah, you just missed out on the elite guys. It's just not a good spot to take this next tier. I'm interested to see how this team turns out. We need to implement the stack. Be kind of funny. Could we get like Lamar and Josh Allen? It'd be an interesting build. All right. Questions again. I think the 2-3 turn is great value for the guy drafting at pick 1-2. It can be. But okay, think about it like this. McCaffrey guy gets Mike Evans and Saquon. I think that's fine. But I don't think that's like significantly better than some other people got. I would actually say some of these are not great. Williams, Pittman, Marquise Brown, DJ Moore. I mean, that is actually a significant step back from over here. So I can understand that. Okay. I guess I can kind of see what you're talking about. The third pick, I feel like we kind of see another cliff happen in like the mid-third round, which is kind of what I noticed when I clicked all these players. I was like, like this is really, really bad. I can see it. All right, yeah. I mean, early historically is best just because you lock up these top options and there are still really good players there. I don't know. I just think mid picks are also really good because if you're in the camp that doesn't think McCaffrey is going to be like super elite, what really is separating Eckler, Najee, Kupp, Jefferson, Henry, Chase, like all these guys are very, very similar. And so at least if you're working your way back over here, you're at least getting that next pick a little bit earlier and you can kind of make out. So maybe it is top 2 versus middle. Maybe that is kind of what it is this season. We're up next. Still have our running backs on the board. We can take Zeke. And yes, I would take Zeke over Etienne. Just again, Etienne will probably be taken. But if you're doing this, you have to play the ADPs. Zeke isn't going to be there at your next pick. Let's do it. Oh, we're in. Is that going to pull up if I click it now? It said, Zeke looking great in workouts. Yeah, we're in that type of the season, right? Everyone looks great. So I have a weird, I actually do think Zeke is a good pick where he's going right now, like the middle of the 4th round, just because we know we've seen the ceiling. I know he's been regressing and stuff, but he was clearly hurt last season. And if he's not going to be hurt this year, and we know Jerry Jones is going to ride him into the ground and just be like, look at our signing was so good. You got all these points, right? Like, Tony Pollard's better. I understand that. But, the Cowboys don't care. They're going to use Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to score fantasy points if he's healthy. And there's no real reason to think he's not going to be healthy. So, Henry, Zeke, Mark Andrews, Josh Allen. Again, our plan, take one more tight end. Only 2 more running backs, which is why our lean is towards trying to lock up some of these running backs. 1 more quarterback, and then just hammering wide receiver, but in the range where maybe people stop doing it because everyone, if we pull it up, everyone's going after wide receiver right now. Our plan right now is to let them keep going, let them acquire their wide receivers. We're grabbing these other spots. Maybe they'll have to go back to wide receiver at some point, but they'll have to abandon it. Okay. What is the next question? Drafting based on ADP value isn't really smart. No, it is smart. And there's a lot of data to back it up. Again, if you blindly follow no strategy and all you do is pick ADP values, your team will perform better on average, knowing nothing else. When you combine that with good strategy and picking good players, the difference is there. I mean, the data just backs it up. I promise you, I have done it. Literally do an easy search on Twitter. You're going to find a bunch of other fantasy sites that have the exact same findings. If you get ADP value, maybe I'll pull, hold on. I'm going to pull this off to the screen because I don't actually know where this is. I want to find this image. The problem is I don't remember who tweeted it out. I saved the picture, but I don't know who tweeted it out, so I can't like go back and look. Oh, was it this one? Oh, well, where are we? Oh, we're up next. All right, we'll pull up. It was Hayden Winks. Hayden Winks. Thanks, Winks. Oh, can we get Dobbins? If you take Dobbins from me. No. We needed that. Okay. Problem. We can't do quarterback. I don't think we can do running back. So I think we're going to have to just start. Oh, well, we should just take Gabriel Davis. I apologize. That was the sharp pick anyway. Thank goodness he took Dobbins because we shouldn't have been taking. I know we want to just hammer out wide receiver, but take the stack. If the stack is sitting there at a slight value, take it. Where's the image? There it is. All right. There you go. Oh, wait, is this the right one? I'll have to think about it in a second. All right, this is actually a different one. I don't have the other one on the screen, but at least you can see this one. It's just reaching. If a lot of your picks are reaches, your team does worse. You should understand that. But if you think that a best strategy is I'm just going to pick the best players, right? And I don't care about ADP. I'm going to pick dudes 10 spots ahead of where they're going. Well, if you do that, your team is not going to score as many points. Pick players around where they're going. ADPs are sharp. There's another graphic, though, that I thought I saved, but maybe I didn't, which is unfortunate. No, it's not in that folder. It's not in that folder. Nah. That's unfortunate. Well, there's another graphic that shows basically how much value you're getting. It's very clear. Teams perform better when they're doing that. Okay. What do you think about Saquon this season? Could be a comeback player of the year candidate. I think Allen Robinson's probably set up a little bit better. I'll pull the draft up. Allen Robinson's set up better to be comeback player of the year. But yeah, no, Saquon could win comeback player of the year for sure. I just don't know yet. Like, he's been hurt. He's been ineffective. In general, third round, right? You guys are getting him in the third round, early third. I'm totally fine with him because it's just basically if there's a player who used to be a consensus top, where am I? Okay, top like 3 pick, potentially a number 1 pick. He's just been hurt. He's still relatively young. The offense is going to be way better than it's been like coached at least from any time that he's been on the team. Yeah, there's plenty of upside. You want to take him, take him. Just understand the risks. He's a 3rd round pick, and he might not do well this season. But yeah, no, I think he's a fine pick. I just had a question. How is Underdog better than ESPN? Well, I can't really do an ESPN draft. Yeah, the person below, people leave after 3 picks. Yeah, definitely. Number 1, I can't really do an ESPN draft with you guys. 2, it's not for money. It's nice being in a paid league just because people are actually trying. Like the next person said, you join an ESPN draft, insta leaves. People just back out instantly. And then what's the value? You're just drafting against the exact ADP. You could just look at ADPs and see what's going to happen. So I don't like doing ESPN. I don't even recommend if you're in an ESPN league, just don't even do ESPN drafts. Okay. 2 running backs. I'm not prepared. If our plan was to go with running back, it's Sanders. I'm hoping, actually, that's probably a good test for future references. It does put in Miles Sanders there. It gets him to be taken, right? Good. Okay. I was curious about if it was like definitely going to do that. Okay. Basically, yeah. So if our plan to maximize our value in this draft is to get our 3 running backs we like, only take 2 of each of these, 2 quarterback, 2 tight end, hammer out wide receiver, then in doing that, we kind of have to take some of these running backs early. So we're going to hope for Clyde, Dylan, Gibbs. It's the same people I clicked on before. Hope for one of them in the next round. That'll finish off running back for us. I was thinking in the back of my mind we could go with like another high-end tight end, Dawson Knox would be a really good option for us. So let's keep that in the back of our minds. I'm not totally opposed to drafting a quarterback. Could do Burrow. What's the bye week? Week 7. I just think if you took Allen, you probably want to go late for that one. All right, so we're going to have to start attacking wide receivers very soon. So we'll pull this up. We got a few picks for us. I've never done Underdog League. What makes it different from Yahoo League? It's best ball. So there's no trades. There's no free agency. This is your team. So you need to draft a team assuming, obviously, there'll be bye weeks, but there will be injuries. There will be people who bust, and you cannot replace them. Yeah, but also they're going to take your top score. So you don't have to set your lineup, basically. So the idea with this draft is that I'm abandoning wide receiver, which, in a redraft league, if I only have Gabriel Davis right now, I'm going to be very thin. I probably don't have that great of talent. Who am I going to start, right? But if I draft 10 wide receivers and it's going to optimize every week and take my top 3, well, now they don't need to be as talented because everyone has spiked games. As long as we're picking players who are going to have a few really good games, they're going to have randomly good games in different times. This week, one guy goes for 20. The next week, it's someone else. I don't care if you get 0, as long as, you're consistently producing some spiked weeks. 3 picks left. Only A.J. Dillon for running back. I will not go running back if Dillon is taken. I will go back to wide receiver. Renfro would have been nice. Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith would be cool to get here. I would take Devonta Smith. So if we don't get Dillon, I would take Devonta Smith. Who would be better for our team? I still think locking up Dillon is better. No, Smith got taken. I still think that's sharp, and now we're done. And they have different bye weeks. I didn't plan that, but that's a good thing to happen because if we only have 4. So now that's it. That's our 4 running backs all season. For those of you who don't know what best ball is, those are the 4 running backs we can use. We cannot add anyone. We cannot trade anyone. Got to be picking from that. We're assuming if we're going to win this league that Derrick Henry does well. So pretty much every week he's going to be in that starting lineup, and then it's just going to rotate from there. Who does the best between Dylan Sanders and Zeke? So I think we did a good job building that. I don't think we're going to go quarterbacks. We're not even going to look there. We're not going to look at running back for the rest of the draft. Do we go with Dawson Knox? Our pick is going to be pick 90. I think if it's not Knox, then we just don't. Although we have the option of grabbing Hawkinson and then Goff later, which would be very interesting. So consider that. Kirk, Gage especially, because if we want a hot start, from someone who could have a hot start, Gage. That's just important to this team. We need spiked weeks. I'm not as concerned, especially because I'm probably going to have to draft some young players late. I just need them to happen. I need some good games from Gage, and to start the year, he's going to have some good games. So we're going to get something out of him. So good with that. Claypool has less upside than most people assume that he has. He had that Woods, Olave, it's the same people I talked about kind of before. What would we do though? Should we take, I think it would be smart for us to get Knox because we at least do lock up a really nice stack in Josh Allen, Gabriel Davis, and Dawson Knox. That's going to go off some weeks. I'm just thinking, do we take him? I guess so. Take him. Now we're done tight end. And then it's just really easy for us. Then we're just clicking names at wide receiver for the rest of the draft. Kurt goes. I won't be upset if Knox gets taken. I'll just take Gage. I think it'd be totally fine. I actually don't think there's a correct choice here. Numbers wise, it actually probably makes sense to go with the wide receiver. But I want to finish this stack. I want to focus on wide receiver after that. So we'll do it. Not practicing. Well, it's OTAs. We're not too concerned. All right. That's 2 good wide receivers. Mark Andrews, Dawson Knox, Josh Allen for the rest of the draft. We're going to take, 9 wide receivers and one quarterback. I'm sure we're going to find a quarterback we can stack. We pretty much don't even need to like be queuing guys up because this is my rankings anyways. We're just going to be loading up on guys who have a chance to break out. So we'll pull up the draft board. We don't need to think too much about our picks anymore. We can answer. That feels like a redraft question, so I'll answer it for that. I don't think there's like a must do, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like, oh, tight ends are terrible, you absolutely need to draft it basically be Kelsey or Andrews early on. No, because later on I poo-poo on Gesicki and Ertz, but they're still like pretty involved on like decent offenses. They're going to be fine for you. Kment's probably going to get a lot of targets this season. Tunyon, I mean, there's already reports of Christian Watson's dropping passes against air, so Romeo Doubs is doing well, but like, I mean, he's going to lean on Tunyon, especially in the red zone. And Njoku just got $1 billion, and what if Watson didn't get suspended this season? Irv Smith, who else do they have at tight end? Absolutely no one. He's a very young talent, very athletic. He's going to be good. Hunter Henry could catch touchdowns. Fairmouth is a really good tight end. Fant's a really good talent. Hooper, who do they have? He could get a ton of targets. Evan Ingram's really talented. What if he finally puts it together this season? Like, there are options for you. So no, I don't think you need to go tight end early, but understand that I just gave like the bull case, for all of those tight ends. In general, most of the names I just mentioned every week are going to provide you like 3 receptions for 40 yards. Like, you need to understand that like tight end is still a wasteland. So when we look at these top options, that's why Kelsey goes early, Andrews goes early. But if you want to take Pitts in like at a value, maybe if he falls into like the later third round or something, you want to take Darren Waller at a value, George Kittle at a value. Sure. I would say that, Kelsey and Andrews are fine to take anywhere in this like second round. I'm fine at any spot really in the second round. Pitts, Waller, Kittle, I would want to get at a value. Anyone in the middle rounds, I want to get at a value. I don't want to just be reaching just to grab one of them because I don't think the gap is like insane at those spots. Hadn't been paying attention. Thank goodness we're still able to make our pick here. Tyler Lockett is still on the board. That's interesting. Lockett is like the king of do nothing for 3 weeks, but then drop 45. And that is exactly what we need for this team. So that's intriguing. If he gets taken, I'm fine with Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods is a good pick here. Just gonna like abandon. Like, I know that like they have terrible quarterback play, but it's Tyler Lockett. There's only 2 good receivers on that team. He's going to have 2 games this season where he drops 30. It's gonna happen. He'll be infuriating in season long on Underdog. I want that upside. So 103, ADP 90. We'll take it. Robert Woods, Kenny Golladay. I don't even need to queue him up because we know who these guys are going to be. I'm just going to grab like the top name on the list. Here is that for you guys. Hope I'm doing a good job at that. Appreciate what? Every time you guys write, it like scrolls. Oh man, I lost my spot. Well, whatever it is, I'm glad you appreciate it. Oh, appreciate the work, Nick. Can you tell me who's the last running back you'd be comfortable with as your running back 1? That's an interesting question. Yeah. And like, I'm going to answer this question assuming this happened because I took Justin Jefferson, then I got Mark Andrews, and then I got A.J. Brown fell to me, and I'm like, wow, I'm crushing it. Like, I'm not, doing dumb things. That the reason that I got this running back this late is because I got great spots elsewhere. Latest I would be fine with as my 1. Probably this like Etienne Zeke range. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with Cam Akers as my 1 because of just the concerns that he's not going to be back to his old self. I don't know that I would trust Breece Hall, although maybe I would. I'm not sure I would trust Jacobs or Dobbins. I would say this like Etienne. David Montgomery, Etienne, Zeke. I'm still comfortable with those guys as my 1. I lose faith if we get too much past this range. At the end of the day, it'd be fine if you had like Dobbins, Sanders, maybe Kenneth Walker if like we got confirmation he's gonna get like 60% of the carries. It'd be fine if you went with those guys, but then I think ET and Zeke is kind of a good range to be like, I should probably start getting my one here. Okay. Looking at ADP, we should probably go what? Hold on. I'm pretty sure it said went. I got concerned there. I clicked Tony and there's no way Tony had surgery like right now. I'm going to pull that up on the side screen. We'll check the news on Kadarius Toney. Probably should have verified that before drafting him. Kadarius Toney. All right, put it into Roto World. I'm sure that's where it's being pulled from. Recovering from off-season knee surgery. Missed voluntary OTAs earlier this month. Oh, it was a knee scope. Knee scopes aren't really something to worry about. He's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that tag, about the injury there. You seem pretty sold on Etienne this year. How do you justify taking him when he's on the Jags? Yeah, haven't seen him play at all. Well, we did see him play at all. He had a collegiate career. That's the one answer I like to give people, because it's like, these guys, this isn't their first year playing football. Like, we know how good he is, and we've already seen in camp he looks explosive. He looks like he's back to his old self. So we know he's good. It was the same thing with I think it was Najee last year. People are like, well, how do you know he's going to be like heavily involved? How do you know he's good? It's like, well, because he was taken in the first round and we saw him play in college. Like, you just know some things, right? But yeah, I mean, it's more that like his role is really good and he's really good at that role. If he was an early down grinder, I'd probably have less confidence in it because things can happen there. But really good pass catching specialist. They don't really have someone that's going to compete with him in that area. And also, Urban Meyer is just a donkey, right? An absolute donkey. And he held that team way, way, way back. So with him gone, Lawrence is going to be better this season. They bring in more help in Christian Kirk. The offense is going to look better. It's going to look significantly better. Everyone assumes they're going to be as bad as they are, and that's why we see Etienne going so late. If this was, let's just say last year he wasn't hurt and he had like a solid season. I'm not even saying does great. It was just solid. Everyone would be able to buy into the narrative of, oh, Urban Meyer's gone. This is going to be Trevor Lawrence's second season, Etienne's second season. It's like, it's just, I don't know. I feel very confident that he's going to have a strong role, that people are talking themselves out of him because he's on the Jaguars without realizing the Jaguars are going to be better this season. Not good, but better. Who are we taking next? Dotson, Tim Patrick. We do still need quarterback, so we should something we should consider. Stacking partners. We don't really have any options there. I'm just going to take Dotson, I think. Because I kind of open up. When I take Dotson, I open up I'm not going with Seattle stack. I at least open up Carson Wentz. So we could end up going with Wentz later. I should try and take just options on these teams. I thought for a second I had Irv Smith. I was like, oh, I should go with Cousins, but I can't do that. And also can't go with Cousins actually because I have the week 7 bye for Josh Allen. I'm not gonna panic. We'll be able to do something. I promise you, we'll be able to do something at quarterback. We'll look back there in a second. I'll pull this up. I think I finished that take, but I don't even remember what the take was. So yeah, I think Etienne's gonna be good. You don't like your pick at 4. How do you feel about Najee, Brown, Allen start at 4? All right. So I do think Najee at 4 is a mistake. I prefer Kupp. I prefer Jefferson. I prefer Chase. I know you might just not want to go with wide receiver, but I just think that's a little too early with Najee. I think he's significantly worse, in my opinion, than Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey. And for you to take him there, you're barely getting a later pick than those guys. So they're basically getting the same second, third round picks as you, and actually a better third round pick than you. And so it's you're just setting yourself up to be a little bit worse than the people around you, in my opinion. You're giving the guy at 5 Cooper Kupp. So I don't like that start. I thought you listed a different name. Najee Brown Allen. Because I'm looking at the wrong. No, you did. You did. What? Wait. Hold on. What? How do you feel about Najee Brown Allen start? I just don't understand the Brown Allen part because you took Tyreek. Or no, you took Debo and Pitts. So clarification needed. But I'm just going to go over team 4 for a second. Fine. So you have Najee, Jacobs, Gibson, Ramondre. That's fine. Debo. I guess I don't love your wide receivers. I think it's a mistake. Go with one of those wide receivers. Do whatever you want in the second round. If it's running back or wide receiver, if you happen to start off 2 wide receivers, you're going there. Well, you can still kind of hammer out running backs in the middle rounds, which you kind of like started doing a little bit with Jacobs and Gibson. I just think Debo, Judy, Drake, and Moore. Oh God, that's my pick. That's a little bit thin at that spot. All right, we can't do too much here. Yeah, we'll just take. That's my top projected is Bell, so we'll just take him. What do I have right now? I am starting to kind of fill out wide receiver. Gabriel Davis, Tyler Lockett, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, David Bell. All right. We're doing good there. Still need a lot. Should we go with a... I would say if oh, we can't do Kirk. I forgot about that. If 2 is available at the next pick, that's probably a smart thing for us to do. If not, it's fine. We'll take someone later. We'll just keep attacking that, and I should probably... Okay, he's not going to be there. I'll try and pay more attention to my pick coming up. I just think go with wide receiver in that first round pick. I figured out that I have 6th pick overall. Do you think I'll still be able to get Aaron Jones at 207 in September like I am now? No, I don't think so. I think in September, Aaron Jones is going to be going in like the 111 to like 203 range. Be pumped though if you can get him at that spot, but no, I don't think that's going to end up happening. Yeah, that's another thing actually. Etienne's already played with he's played with Trevor Lawrence, so they have like a chemistry there. No. Everything always moves. When the normies start drafting, Barkley and Zeke are going to shoot up in ADP. Definitely possible, yeah. But the normies also drafted those players early in recent years and got wrecked, right? It's part of the reason why Clyde goes so late, because back-to-back seasons, he's burned people. Every time a running back burns someone, it gets to the point where it's like Mixon. Mixon for like 3 straight years, was it? Like just kept burning people. You're entering your draft and like, half your league has been burned by Mixon at some point because some dudes traded for him and then he got hurt. So it's like when a large percent of the population, when you've got like 30% of drafters has been burned by someone, the ADP is going to drop because there are just some people who will not take the pick and you just see ADPs drop. So yes, I do think when, the normies come in there, they're going to start drafting those older players. But some of them have been burned. So not necessarily to like some crazy degree or anything. Who do we take? I don't love the options. I actually did think that maybe there'd be more options for us at wide receiver here. Like I'm fine with who we're left with here, but I don't love it. I mean, the 3rd best wide receiver on a Zach Wilson-led offense is my top projected player. That's not fun to say out loud. 13th round. Should we just go with quarterback? Maybe we just take our quarterback. Even then, do I have a stack? Uh-oh. Well, I actually don't think we go with quarterback here. Because I didn't even take Etienne, so I can't get that stack in there. Oh, God. Ugh. That is the grossest pick in the world. Corey Davis. Ugh. Maybe there was a better option for us, but was everyone in this league taking a million wide receivers? My thought with quarterback was like, I don't even care which one I get. I'll take Goff, Wilson, Wentz, Winston, Matt Ryan, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Tannehill, Davis Mills. I will take literally any of them. I don't care. I don't think they're all coming off the board, so why spend that pick at that spot? So we'll keep trying to hammer out wide receiver. It's not going as planned, but not too many picks left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks left. That's 4 wide receivers. And again, yes, our wide receiver core looks bad, but we're gonna have 10 of them, so we're gonna have some options each week. There isn't waiver wire, is there? No, there's no waiver wire here. Najee or Henry first round pick. Henry, I'm pretty sure. I'll pull up PPR. If it's Henry in PPR, it's definitely, yeah, it's Henry even in PPR. So in any format, Derrick Henry. Thoughts on my team so far? Ashton Springer. Okay. You got the Jefferson. That was good value. Getting Jefferson at 6. Kamara. Hey, if he doesn't get suspended, that's a good pick. Waddle. That's perfectly fine. Amari Cooper. Yep. Good. I like this Hurts, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert area there. I still think Al Lazard is going too early in drafts, but if he's going to end up being the 1, maybe he's not. It just feels weird taking him this early. You guys know I'm not a Pierce fan, but there are people who definitely are. Good pick. Good. Yeah, no, good team. Good team. It looks like Kamara, Dobbins, Pierce, and Herbert are the running backs. So I would say maybe one more running back. I think one more running back would be good. I don't think you need to go with multiple. And then I'm not on the board, right? Good. Jefferson, Waddle, Amari, Devonta, Lazard. I like this wide receiver core. You're still going to want more of them. Don't take another quarterback. Yeah. Draft another running back. Draft like a few more wide receivers, another tight end. I think that's a solid build. Yeah, I think that's good. Pull that up there. Stack Allen, take Knox later. What was my option there? Stack Allen. Well, did I have another stack available? Or were you talking about the Gabe Davis pick? Who could I have stacked him with? Were you talking about Singletary? I didn't have any more running backs that I wanted to take there. I don't know who I would have stacked him with. Yeah, you're saying to take Knox yeah. Okay, that's what I did. Alberto could be sneaky good this year. Yeah, but I don't think it's sneaky because no, my God, it's my pick. Part of me says go Marvin Jones. Or do we get Curtis because we got sniped from us last time? Curtis. But I don't think there was a correct pick there. I hate these wide receivers. I don't think the team's going to turn out that fantastic. Could have gone Marvin Jones with that spot. We'll queue up. We're in the Nico Collins range. My God. This is ugly. Wow. This is bad. These are bad players. We don't need that. We need quarterback, right? Just in case I forget my pick again. Try sniping all these guys from me. I dare you guys. All right. Pull it up. There we go. All right, so you're in a 12-man underdog league, 10th pick. Current roster: Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb, Mike Williams, David Montgomery, Lamar Jackson, Amon St. Brown, CEH, Knox. What position is next? Probably wide receiver. So you already have Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, and Clyde. So you don't really need to grab that fourth one, even though I did in this one to test it out and it's not working for me. So yeah, I don't think you need to grab that fourth one. You've already got Lamar Jackson, so you don't need to go quarterback. You've got Knox, so you don't need to go with tight end. Yeah, I think it's wide receiver. You've got CD, Mike Williams, Amonra, but you need more. So I would go with wide receiver. Your best options were Galladay, Woods. Yeah, Woods I think might be the top ranked wide receiver. I would just check the rankings. I think it's Woods or Galladay for there. Team 10. All right. Solid stacks, you said. Let's see what the stacks are. So running backs are Dalvin. Well, let's just see the stacks you liked. Kyler Murray with Marquise Brown. Nothing else after that. And then was it Dak? Dak with Lamb and Tony Pollard. Yep, those are nice stacks. You like to see that. And you're not sold on all the players. Well, Dalvin Cook's a good pick. CeeDee Lamb's a good pick. Yeah, I'm not sold with Marquise Brown as a third-round pick. I'm just not. Someone's going to have to convince me on why that makes sense long-term. Akers, I think that's fine. Then we're seeing Brown. I think all these picks have been fine. Robert Woods, Tyler Boyd. No, I think that's a good team. I don't have any issues. What's the running back depth? Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers, Tony Pollard, Gus, Darrell Williams. Yeah, it's totally fine. It's a good team. It's a good team. Does our team stink, by the way? Let's see. Our running backs are Derrick Henry. Actually, we'll pull it up on because we're almost up anyways. Running backs are Derrick Henry, Zeke, Sanders, and Dillon. So probably one of the best running back cores in the league. But Gabriel Davis, Tyler Lockett, Tony, Dotson, Bell, Corey Davis, Curtis Samuel. Gross. Oh, it's because it was Mark Andrews too. So we're like dominating tight end and running back. And realistically, we have Josh Allen. So maybe I'm being too hard on our team. Like, it would have been a miracle if we scrapped together a good wide receiver core here. Still, no one is really taking my quarterback, so I'm not going to do that. Gross. Oh, my God. I'm not going to get it in time, am I? Oh, wait, no, it wasn't my pick. Okay. My lean was to take Zay Jones. But I have Nico Collins projected best, so maybe I should just go there. Why don't I take Crowder? Yeah. Well, that makes more sense. Yeah, I'll just take Jameson Crowder. I think everyone in here is using the rankings. We have Crowder ranked really, really low. Got him at a value. Yeah, no, that's a way better pick because now I have Josh Allen stacked with Gabriel Davis, Jameson Crowder, and Dawson Knox. So that was a good pick. Nice. Are there any other ADP values that you guys are just like skipping over? Projection 0. Why is Andre Patton have an ADP of 215? That's probably just like a baseline. Oh, yeah. They're just baseline ADPs of 215. We're getting to the range where Underdog has just decided not to like put ADPs up. It's so bad. Yikes. Are we going to take Shakir too and do Josh Allen, Gabriel Davis, Jameson Crowder, Shakir, and Dawson Knox and basically just be like, all right, if Diggs scores or running back scores, you don't have it. Everything else, we've got it. It's not a bad idea. If Josh Allen's going to have like a monster season, we're just like every week we've just got someone in our starting lineup that caught the touchdown. That's not bad. All right. We're getting to the end of the questions, which is nice. You're in a dynasty rookie draft, 14-team league. You need a quarterback, Willis or Ritter. Ugh, it's just such a bad quarterback class. Like, I'll pull up Dynasty. I'm pretty sure the answer is Willis. But if you need quarterback, you might just have to wait until next year to do that because it's ugly. Yeah, Willis over Ritter. But gross. All right, we're up next. We should probably just take Shakir, right? Oh, we don't have quarterback yet, but people still aren't doing anything with that. Yeah. Maybe we should actually just we'll take this because we don't need. Although I could have gone Lawrence. I knew I had the stack. How many people are going to have that Zach Wilson, Corey Davis stack? Ugly. Could have gone with Trevor Lawrence. Could have gone with Goff. Could have just honestly just waited. We could have actually probably paired Carson Wentz too with Dotson. So probably the right move was to wait, but I'm not going to be like, emotionally unstable if Khalil Shakir ends up getting taken from me. I'll just take Thornton or something, and I'll take some of these other scrub wide receivers. It'll be totally fine. Let's see. 2 quarterbacks super flex redraft. Oh, I'm just going to assume that means it's a 2 quarterback league. What tier of quarterbacks are you looking for your team? What level of quarterbacks do you want? It's the same take I kind of generally have. Like, I don't want I hate to keep using him as an example and then draft him, but I don't want Zach Wilson as my quarterback 1. So whatever you need to do to lock up a first quarterback that you feel pretty good about, I would say pretty good means like a top 12 option. Do it. It doesn't mean you need to reach, but just be aware that like there might be a run. So make sure you get someone. Yeah, try and get a top 12 option. Try and pair that with someone who ideally like schedule matches up well. You can look on the website for that, like the pairings. And just like someone that would probably be a top 20 option. Hold on. If I pull up the rankings, of course I'm in Dynasty now. That would be my general take. Get a top 12 option that you feel good about. Get a top 20 option you feel good about. In general for us, that's going to be your Goff, your Daniel Jones. I don't know. Who else would that be? Let's see. Quarterback. I'm not on the board, right? No. Trey Lance, Kirk Cousins, Tua, those guys. So I'd pair like a pretty good option with one of those guys. And then, if you want to draft that third one, which you probably do want to do, that's going to be your like Wilson, Wentz, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Davis Mills. It's going to be like that range. So that's kind of what I would do. If there is huge value, like people don't treat it as 2 quarterback league very like much, like they don't really start being aggressive, and you like have the opportunity to stack Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow, like you have an opportunity to do that. I'm not against it because you're gaining that huge weekly ceiling there. Yeah, in general, get a top 12, get another top like 17, get one after that, build it evenly. Don't put too much draft capital in when you don't need to. 17 and 18, and then we're done. This was a long one, guys. This was a very long draft. I'm very surprised there are still 76 you in here. We got a few more people than we had in previous ones. But we're going to take, hopefully, Shakir. Hopefully Thornton after that, but I don't really care all that much. If you have any, like, final questions, shoot them in. I don't think there are any... who do you keep? We got a keeper question. Final question, shoot them in. And then we're basically going to be done with this one. 2 keeper, half PPR league. You have to choose between Kupp, Justin Jefferson, and a really weird spelling for Eckler. Who do you keep? I would want to know what other people are keeping. Like, is there a possibility that people have to post that? Because in our keeper league, what we had to do when it was a keeper league is post. I would always just wait until I see what everyone else is doing. Kind of section that off. Be like, okay, well, this name's gone, this name's gone, this name's gone. Because if there's no running backs, like no good running backs left, maybe you want to lead Kupp and Eckler. If you look at it and you think in that first round you'll still be able to get a solid running back, having Kupp and Jefferson's like a really, really good pairing because it allows you to kind of, do whatever else you want. But you're in a good spot. You have 2 first-round picks, and you know that, like, obviously if you have 3 first-round picks in your roster, you're not keeping one of them. That means that other teams might not have any. So you're in a really good spot. My guess, though, is Kupp and Eckler. I'd want to just be even. I wouldn't want to lock myself in because what if in the first round there's huge value at wide receiver, and you just don't want to go with that spot. You want to go with running back, and then you're like, there's no running backs. Like, you just kind of, you hurt yourself a little bit. So I would probably end up going Eckler and Kupp unless you know ahead of time that there's like 7 decent running backs. You can take Kupp and Jefferson, know you can get a decent running back, and then you're golden. Also, if you know what pick you have. Do you have a top like 3 pick? Like, is there a chance you can get, Eckler or something like that? Like, these are things that would kind of factor in, at least for me. At what point do negative reports about rookies become concerning? Example, reports for drop from Watson. Yeah, some people have asked about that, and also some people like trying to draw comparisons like Jamar Chase. They're like, oh, didn't we learn that lesson with Jamar Chase? No, the Jamar Chase thing was ridiculous last year because he's like, one of the best prospects we've ever seen, really. But it was the best prospect since Calvin Johnson. And that was just like universally considered. And then he drops a few passes in preseason. People want to just throw away entire career in college. It's different when Christian Watson, because you're not throwing away this incredible like college career. Like he got shut down by some absolute trash teams. Like he's just athletic. Like he didn't dominate college or anything. So it's a little concerning, especially when it's like they're saying it's against air. He's not even being guarded. He's just dropping passes like just in the open field with no defenses. And like, are they even in pads right now? So it's a little embarrassing, but not right now. There's pretty much no reports. I would say reports of like people in the doghouse, like people operating as like the fifth receiver, clearly behind other guys. That's concerning. He's got pretty high draft capital that like until something else kind of crazy happens, don't make it a concern too much. But also it's nice that he's not dropping these passes from Rodgers. If he keeps doing this when Rodgers reports, which will be next week, and he keeps dropping a bunch of passes, then yeah, because Rodgers is going to be like, all right, I don't trust this dude. And if Rodgers doesn't trust you, it's over. So there goes the Thornton pick. I think we made up for it at wide receiver. I think we did draft a good amount of like upside options. So again, we stacked Josh Allen with Gabriel Davis, and then we got Tyler Lockett, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, Bell, Corey Davis, Curtis Samuel, Jamison Crowder, Shakir, Thornton. Most weeks, a lot of those names are scoring 5 fantasy points. But there will be some weeks where Thornton has a really long touchdown, that Shakir has, some work stacked with Josh Allen, that Crowder to happen because we got the early quarterback, we got the early tight end, and we stacked out running backs. It's a viable strategy, but we're definitely going to need some luck with some spiked weeks from these players. What were the quarterbacks left? Okay, so they did end up going. Where did like Wentz and Trevor Lawrence go? So I drafted Zach Wilson. After that round, Goff, Tannehill, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence all went off the board. Then it was only Wentz after that. So actually it was the correct move, because I'd have been very upset if like these teams had taken another one. Like I would have had to have gotten like lucky kind of doing that. So, okay. Well, that was the team. We're not going over too much more because we've already been doing this for 2 hours. Thank you for answering your question. Thank you for your answer. Yes. Yeah, we're done here. We're not answering any more of your questions. I've answered a lot of them. If you waited this long, get it in earlier next week. We've been doing this for 2 hours. So tomorrow, what's today? Tuesday? Tomorrow we have our draft strategy series. It's going to be what a championship teams do at the quarterback position. Thursday, it's your request for Keenan Allen versus Mike Williams, and then must-own running backs on Friday. Make sure on the Thursday video you like suggest something at running back. So whatever questions you have, like 2 pairings at running back, I want to do that, and then we'll do another one the next week for wide receivers. So that'll do it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, how about hitting that like button? We're only at 44 likes. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. For some reason you're new here. Most of you are probably not new. You're probably long-term subscribers. But thanks for watching, guys.